One of the most popular one-story plans with Perry Homes right here. In this video, I'm walking you through one of the most popular one-story plans built by Perry Homes. This is the 2944 plan. Just like the name of the plan is 2944, that's also the approximate square footage. We have 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, and a 3-car garage. Now we are in a community called Nolina, which is one of the newest communities built in the Austin metro area. We're actually in the suburb called Georgetown, Texas. And I'm going to talk all about Nolina later on in the video. I'm actually going to show you one of the lots that you can build here in Nolina. We're also going to tour one of the homes built by Perry here in this community called Nolina. But first, I want to focus in on this plan because I've walked this exact same floor plan for sale, but it was empty. It had no staging in it, and I have to tell you, I've now walked this plan with the clients, and it looks and feels so different. When you first enter this main living area, you have the dining room on the left side, you have this good size living room, and then you have this beautiful kitchen that opens up with all this cabinetry, and I think the sliding glass doors and the transom windows above them and the windows in the back around that breakfast nook area just open up this space so well. And this is a big reason why my clients love touring homes built by Perry. Lots of windows, tall ceilings, and great design upgrades. And we're gonna walk through all of that in detail right here. Now, my name is Raj Sahu. I'm a realtor in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 20 different builders. So I'm gonna give you the perspective of walking these homes with dozens and dozens of buyers. And that starts right here in the kitchen. What clients tell me they love about kitchens like this are definitely the two-tone kitchen cabinets. This makes the kitchen island stand out and become the focal point of this kitchen. I also get a lot of clients that get worried about keeping their cabinets and their countertops all white. They think it might be too bland, but as you can tell by just the decor they have here, it breaks up the space so well. And it also pulls out different design features in this kitchen. Like, you may not notice, there are veins running through that countertop, and the dark touches just pull out those veins. I also like this simple hexagon kitchen backsplash that reflects the light in a different way as you walk across it. And then of course, this designer vent hood is such a Perry signature. I think they do such a great job of upgrades right here in the kitchen. And that continues right on the kitchen island, where I love how they did this single basin sink. I believe this is a granite composite sink. It's scratch resistant, or at least it was last time I was in Perry's design studio. And I have to say, every time I hear scratch resistant at a design studio, everybody says the same thing. Stainless steel sinks do scratch. And every single time they tell me that at a design studio with one of my clients, I go home, I have a stainless steel sink, I look in the sink, and it has tons of scratch marks. And you know, it's funny, with my personality, I've never noticed these things, but now, after being around so much new construction, I can't help but look at them. So let me know what you think about that. If scratch marks really make you upset in the sink, or if you could care less, let me know in the comments. Now, this is a quick look at the pantry, and stick with me here on this model home tour. When we get outside, I'm going to show you one of the lots that's here in Nolina that you could build with Perry Homes. It really shows the beauty that's here. Also, later on in the video, I'm going to show you a home for sale built by Perry that's finished, and it's under 4,000 square feet, just under $1 million too, on a huge lot. In fact, on that street, my clients just closed with Perry Homes 2 doors down, and they just built just under 5,000 square feet with Perry. So if you're subscribed to my channel, I will also detail their home in a video in a week or two. Getting back into this plan, I love this living room. That fireplace with that dark tile provides such a great design touch that breaks up the left wall here. And it also complements all of those upgrades in the kitchen. So when you get out to this main living area, your eyes can't help but go left to the fireplace, right to all the upgrades in the kitchen, and straight out through these huge sliding glass doors that open up into that backyard. And this is why I tell my videographer, I want you to sit down in areas that you feel like people will be spending a lot of time in. Now, maybe you wouldn't be watching a Perry commercial on your TV, but at least it gives you a good visual of what it's like to just take a seat here on the couch, where you have this beautiful fireplace in front of you. You have those 3 large windows that bring in so much natural light into that dining room that also has some good designer touches. And then again, behind us, those sliding glass doors make such a big difference. In fact, my clients loved the sliding glass doors with Perry so much that when they built with Perry, just under 4,000 square feet, they put in a quote to get 2 sets of sliding glass doors on their back wall. Now, the back of their home looked a little bit different than the home that we're in right now. It didn't have a breakfast nook area that was extended a little bit further. It was just a straight back wall. And so it would have made more sense for that type of plan to have 2 sliding glass doors. The only issue we kept running is due to the framing of the home. The panels on the sliding glass doors had to be a different size on one sliding glass door compared to the other. So my clients ended up only going with 1 set of sliding glass doors. They almost went for it with 2, but they decided to keep it with 1, and it looks fantastic. And this breakfast nook also looks fantastic. Look at all those 5 windows across those 2 walls. Just opens up that space to make it feel like you're outside, even though you're right there in the breakfast nook area. Now, this is going to be a look at a bar area. I don't want to call it a butler's pantry because that would usually lead to a dining room. And I have to say, I don't drink that much anymore, but walking past this to my primary bedroom, that'd be a little bit tough. I guess you could put whatever you want at that bar area, but from my perspective, walking past that, about to go to bed every single day, I don't know if I would go for that, but let me know if you would. Luckily, it's an option, so if you don't like it, and this is the beauty of building from scratch, you can just leave it out. I think I would leave it out, but let me know what you think in the comments. Now, in the primary bedroom, what I would definitely go with is this tray ceiling. Now, as it's shown on the website, this is included. It may not have the beams or some of the design features that you see in this model home, but I think Perry does that so well with these large windows, tall ceilings, like I mentioned before. It makes such a big difference when walking through these homes. What also makes a big difference are accent walls behind the bed, which we see here in the primary bedroom. I think it just breaks up that wall, provides a very cool accent piece in a room that you're going to be in every single day. And then what I also think makes a big difference are primary bathrooms that open up like this. Keep in mind, we are under 3,000 square feet, and there aren't too many primary bedrooms that open up like this, that have a window on the left side, bringing in natural light, that have a freestanding tub that just allows for a very cool design piece. And then they really went all out with the polarizing dark tile here in the primary bathroom, using a white grout outline to just provide that contrast in that primary bathroom. We're gonna get in there in a second. I wanna know what you think about that, but they definitely did this white and dark look with the dark cabinets, the dark frame, the dark lights, and then that light countertop and light tile that's on the floor. Now, while we look at this design work in this primary bathroom in detail, I want to talk about the community that we're in, which is called Nolina, because after this primary bathroom, we're going to head outside. I'm going to show you one of the lots that's here in Nolina, and you're going to get an idea of the beauty that's here. But before we get there, I want to talk in general about 2 big factors that I evaluate when I'm looking at a community. The first is the developer and the builders that are in that community. So starting with the developer, very familiar with this developer because they developed Bryson, a community that's located in Leander, Texas, which is south of here. And they did a great job with that community. I've had a lot of clients say that they like the amenities in that area. They like the topography that's there and how the developer kind of took advantage of that topography, giving some of these homes views, and it captured really the beauty of Leander there. And that's why when I heard that they were coming out to this area called Nolina, and I drove out here when it was just a bunch of dirt roads, I said, oh wow, there's some good topography out here where you have a good developer that could take advantage of that. Now, when I look at the builders, I make sure that the builders are builders that can build forever homes. And when I say forever homes, I mean looking at the opposite, starter homes that tend to be much smaller. Some of these neighborhoods where it's all starter homes, they end up becoming a lot of rentals. And when a neighborhood is very rental heavy, feels very transient, and it just doesn't have that livability factor that I think a lot of homeowners are looking for when they're looking at homes in the suburbs. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying every single home needs to be huge, but I am saying it's good to have that balance, because then you have buyers that buy into these communities and want to stay there long term, and that's helpful for everybody. Now, I mentioned earlier that one of my clients just closed on their home with Perry in a community south of here. It's actually the 4931 plan, so it's actually their largest plan they build in the Austin metro area. So Perry is definitely a builder that can build forever homes, and there are a few other builders in here that I've built with. One that I have a client under contract that's over 5,200 square feet. I have another client that's under contract with a builder here that is a sprawling one-story plan that opens up really well. And my point is, I've experienced working with each of these builders, and I've found they have a good combination, a good balance of different types of homes. And that's really what I'm looking for as the first factor when I look into a community. Now, keep in mind, none of those clients are under contract in this community. This community is literally just starting. I mean, those homes you see in the back are a lot of the inventory homes that they're just getting going, and I'm coming out here at pretty much the grand opening of these model homes. Now, that leads me to the second part. The second factor that I'm looking at is price. So many of my clients reach out to me and they say, well, what can I get for this price in this area? What can I get for this price in that area? And is it worth it? And those are good questions to ask. And right now, we're in that price discovery phase. So anytime a new community opens up, you look at neighboring communities and what builders have done there. And the thing about this area is we have communities that are about 2 to 3 miles north of here that are definitely further out. I would definitely value Nolina's location over them. But there is a community south of here that has lots of inventory, and that's about 5 to 7 miles south of here. So as of right now, we're still in that price discovery phase. And so that's why I'm going to keep coming back to Nolina every single week and understand what's going on here, because I want to understand what pricing looks like here compared to other communities. And then I'll be able to answer that question of, is it worth it? And that time's going to be coming here soon as they start to make sales after they do this grand opening. Now, I did tell you when we get outside, I want to show you the lots that are here. Let me show you one of those lots right here. Now, this is exactly why I wanted to come out to Nolina and showcase the beauty that's here. So if you're trying to imagine what that model home would look like on a beautiful lot backing up to greenery, just look behind me. That combination of great lots and amenities already on site is why I'm out here in Nolina. Back to the video. Now, I did mention amenities on site, and so kind of piggybacking off what we talked about before, like good developer, good builders, very few developers will just start with amenities right away in a community, and this one did, and that means they're willing to front money for the development of this community to draw people to it. That's a really good sign, and right now that pool's already created, they have a clubhouse, and I have a good visual of what that looks like. I have good visuals of a lot of these communities, and I may not be able to post all of that publicly on YouTube, but what I do for all my clients is I build out a board through this software platform called Trello, and I'm able to share in a very organized way all the different shots that I have of different communities, and I find it adds so much value, especially for my clients that are reaching out to me that are out of state. Actually, 92% of my clients reach out to me. They're either out of state or out of town. And for those out of state, a lot of them are on the West Coast, either in California or in Seattle. And so if you're watching this, no matter where you're from, reach out to me. I can build out that board for you and get you such a strong visual of all your options here right at your fingertips. So you understand pricing, you understand amenities in these various communities. And as an example, if you want the amenities and a video of what that looks like here in Nolina, just reach out to me. Now, stick with me on this model home tour because there is still a lot to see here. In fact, if you're thinking about pricing and you want to understand what that looks like, I'm going to show you a home later that is for sale in Nolina, built by Perry. I'm also going to show you a larger home right around 4,000 square feet that's built on a very large lot that is for sale just south of here in a different community. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Getting back into the plan, we are in one of the bedrooms that is private from the rest of the home. So it's in its own area, does have an in-suite full bathroom, and then I like that they did a walk-in shower in this home. So many of my clients tell me they need a bedroom separate for their parents when they stay with them. They don't want them going up and down the steps. And so a lot of my clients, they get two-story homes, end up wanting 2 bedrooms downstairs, one for them, one for their parents, or somebody elderly staying with them. And then I think on these one-story homes, it's great to have these bedrooms. The only tough part is on a lot of one-story plans that are 4-bedroom homes, they are missing either a study or a game room. Now, the difference with this home is you get both. We end up having 4 bedrooms It's going to have a media room or like optional theater room, which we're going to see in a second. And then it even has a study at the front of the home. I think this is such a well thought out plan because I think 1-story plans are very marketable to so many people. And for some people that don't want the 1-story plans, it's usually because it just doesn't have the rooms that they really need in their home. It's missing the game room or it's missing a study, and they just can't compromise there. In this plan, we don't have to compromise. So many of my clients tell me they love the idea of having a media room in their home that they have as a second hangout area, so somebody can hang out in the living room, other people can hang out here. I have a lot of clients that tell me when they have kids, they need a place for their kids to put their toys and play, and sometimes they just want to close the doors just to get a little bit more privacy in their home. And for a lot of 1-story homes, they don't have that separate game room or media room area that they can enclose. This plan, again, has it like you're seeing here with this large couch in front of this projector screen with speakers on the walls and speakers on the ceilings. It really builds that dream of a beautiful theater room. And by the way, both my clients that built with Perry recently enclosed, one of them was a 4197 plan, and they decided to have Perry paint the walls dark. And they loved it. They just thought this is such a cool thing to have in their home, their own theater. My other clients did the same thing. I think they did it after closing, and they did a ton of work in their media room, and they built the 3917 plan. So I know a lot of these plans because I've had a lot of clients look at Perry. I've had a lot of clients build with Perry, and I like that they offer so many different plans. With other builders, no offense to other builders that do this, but some builders, they build good plans, but they only build like 2 good plans. And so every single client that buys one of those 2 plans, and you just see that same plan over and over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong, with Perry, they definitely have some popular plans, but they offer so many different plans. You see more different homes throughout the neighborhoods that Perry builds in. Now, in this model home, they have a mud bench there, and that's because what we saw prior to that is the builder agent's office space, but that would be the area where there would be a 3-car garage. Now, it is a 3-car tandem garage, and that's why they have the mud bench there, and then this is where the powder bathroom is located. Good spot for it because it's right off of that main hallway that goes from the front door right out to the main living area. By the way, in that main hallway, there are tray ceilings in that hallway. It just allows for a good designer touch, like a chandelier to come down. And I think for so many clients that are looking at 1-story plans, I love walking homes like this because it provides that grand entrance that I think people are looking for, even in a 1-story plan. And then the tall ceilings, the windows, everything that we've seen already just adds so many great touches to these sprawling 1-story plans. Now, while we go through the 2 bedrooms that are on this side that are split by a full bathroom, and then we still have that study that we have to see at the front of the home, I wanted to go back to price. And even beyond price, I want to talk about supply and demand dynamics for this area because that's what's really dictating price. And what I want everybody to understand is during the pandemic, we had such a high where pricing was so dynamic. Literally in 2 to 4 weeks in a community, prices could escalate tens of thousands of dollars. It was so dynamic. And then when interest rates doubled in the shortest time period in the history of interest rates, we saw a pullback. And that was also it had great price dynamics, but in the opposite direction with prices calming down. Now we're seeing more stability, but for this specific area, we're seeing a lot of supply. And the reason is there's good infrastructure that have come to this area. I think years ago, even just 2 to 3 years ago during the pandemic, people were saying, well, I can come out to this area, but when is it going to actually develop? Like, when are they going to get a grocery store and restaurants and shops and things that you want to be around? And for a lot of people, they said, well, I believe that area will grow, but I just don't know when. It could be a year from now, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now. People just did not know, and they just didn't have that confidence that it would grow rapidly or grow by next year. Now that's changed. Actually, just south of here, there is a new grocery store. It was built about a year ago, and now there's all sorts of restaurants and shops around that grocery store. And there's other things that people need, like dentists, and there's like an Orange Theory, and there's just so many different things around that area. Now, when I have a lot of clients come out to this area, they say, hey, what's coming up next? It's not like what will come up next. It's like, when, hey, what's coming up next? I know there's probably something. And there's more confidence from clients or buyers that are looking at this market. That confidence also is with developers and builders. Now you're seeing more communities, and that just means more supply and more options. For example, there's a community south of here where 60-foot wide lots, there are only about 2, maybe sometimes 3 builders building over the course of the last 3 years. Now in this year, in 2024 and beyond, they have about 6 builders building on 60-foot wide lots. So that's about almost triple or double at least what they had just a year or a year and a half ago. I can't tell you how big of a difference that makes with the amount of options where it can be very confusing. And I have so many of my clients reach out to me saying they're overwhelmed by the options that are out there. What are the best options for them? And that's where I can really come in and help. Like I mentioned earlier, I've represented clients with 20 different builders, so I can give you that unbiased perspective that I think so many people are looking for. And most importantly, I've actually gone to the meetings when working through these builders. I met their construction managers, I met the builder agents. I'm constantly in contact with these builders to identify the best options for my clients. Now I'm able to do that at a high level and provide a lot of value to my clients simply because I picked this as my niche a few years ago, and that's been 100% of the business that I've done. And actually 98% of my clients come from YouTube. So I started posting content around new construction a few years ago. I didn't actually think people would reach out to me, but I just thought if I force myself to talk through an entire home tour, I'll memorize these plans and that will make me a better realtor. And that's truly why I started on YouTube. Now I will say I actually had 2 investors buy properties in the last month, but when people come to me and they don't have maybe a focus on what I provide a lot of value in, I bring in one of my realtor partners. So I have a realtor partner that owns 9 investment properties in the Austin metro area. He's very savvy, and he and I partner on any investors who reach out to us. So if you want an investment property, you can reach out to me for that as well. And you can reach out to me for anything. If I think there is a better realtor for you that is more focused on your criteria, I will not hesitate to connect you with that realtor partner. I've done that with my own sibling that bought an investment property here in Austin. I've done that with my first cousins who listed their property 5 minutes away from where I live, and I'm not afraid to do that for anybody who reaches out to me. So reach out to me, my number's below, and if you want to see that Perry home for sale, I'm going to show you how to access it right here. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of the newest model home built by Perry? Go ahead and comment below on what you thought. And if you want to see actual homes for sale, that's going to be on my website. It's at the top of the description of this video. And then if you need that unbiased perspective, I think so many buyers are looking for when looking at all these different options, reach out to me. Text or call me, introduce yourself. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. Now, if you want to see that home built by Perry, go ahead and click right here. And as always, I hope this helps. Take care, everyone.